Hey everyone, welcome to Old Iron Garage. Thank you for tuning in. So today I'm working on a special project, which I made an announcement about in a previous Marketplace Find video. And I'm over here under the shade tree right now, but I'm going to be working in the bed of my truck because it's nice outside and that makes a nice workbench. So anyways, let's get over there and take a look at what I'm going to work on. Good news! Before we start this video, I want to show you guys that I actually got I have this cheap tripod here, and I got a phone holder for it. So, yeah, I know it's kind of hard to see because of the sunlight, but it's nice aluminum phone holder. So that ought to help with making videos just a little bit better. Anyways, so, hey, scoot over. Here we have this air compressor tank that I drug home recently, and I believe in that video I said that I was going to convert this into fuel storage. That's exactly what I'm going to do. I wanted a propane tank instead of an air compressor tank because that would be a lot more clean inside. This, I'm going to have to deal with rust inside the bottom of the tank. I already went around the bottom of the tank with a hammer. She's solid. It's not rusted through. But I'm going to have to do some work to convert this over from holding compressed air to holding fuel. So, I used to build steel tanks for a living. I did that at my last job. So I know a lot about building tanks to hold. A lot of them held flammable fluids and fuels and stuff. So, you know, safety was a major thing there. If we send out a defective tank, that could cost someone their life. So, safety was huge at that company. So I do know a lot about making steel tanks. So don't think, oh, this guy's an idiot, you know, this isn't going to work, this is unsafe, blah, 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 blah. I know how to properly set up this tank to be used for fuel storage. So I'm not too worried about that. But basically what I'm going to do today is I'm going to get this tank ready to put some distilled white vinegar, or white distilled vinegar, in the bottom of this to start dissolving rust on the inside. First, we're going to take a look in there. I have my handy dandy Harbor Freight bore scope there, and a few other tools I may need to take a peek in the bottom of it. I have 4 gallons of distilled white vinegar. I'll probably pick up more later. And but yeah, anyway, so things I'm going to do today include like getting that old pressure regulator off of there, and other things that I don't need. Just start removing things that I will no longer be needing. But to convert this over to fuel storage, see if I can roll this over enough for you guys to see one-handed. Sorry about the view. So there's a bunch of extra holes in here from the factory that obviously will not be needed. So those are going to get either a cast steel plug threaded into them and welded, and then any weld that I put on here, as well as actually just the whole tank in general, is going to get pressure tested. And by that I mean, you know, you put a little bit of pressure in there, like 10 psi ish, and then you spray it down with basically like a soap water and look for any bubbles, big bubbles, small bubbles, any pressure escaping. So yeah, that will indicate where it's going to leak, and then you can mark and repair those spots. That's what I did when building steel tanks. But for today, with the exception of this one here, I'm just going to remove anything that's not needed from the tank. I did already do a couple things. This pressure relief valve down here for draining the water out of the bottom of the tank. I figured out which way is open and which way is closed on that, and I got it in the closed position. I'm hoping that it will not leak. This foot, it was bent, no, down here, it was bent inward. I put a adjustable wrench on there and squeezed it down tight and bent it back out. Stuff like that. So, another thing I'm going to do is, where is it? Where is it? Somewhere on the bottom side of the tank. There's some. Here it is. It's hard to see because of that sun. But I'm going to just take some steel wool. There's some words and numbers and stuff. Clean it up a little bit and just see what it says. Oops, sorry. I'm not looking at the screen. Let's take a look. See if I can rotate this a little bit. Yeah, I don't know what any of that says or means, really. Doesn't mean anything to me. That's something that's actually printed on there, I think. I can't snag any of that with my fingernail. There is, however, up here, let me go ahead and get you guys in the phone holder. It'll be a lot easier that way. Alrighty, I'm back. So there is like an information tag, like a steel stamp tag. Come on, just turn already. It has snagged the plastic liner in the bed. I was trying to move that. Alright, get out here. You fat pig. There. That was annoying. I just want to see what this says. Give it a read. National BD number 504988. Don't know what that is. WP 165. Heads, that's the ends. 108. Head radius E. I'm not sure what all of this is. Year 1984. Temperature 450 degrees. Blah 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 blah. Certified by the Buckeye Boiler Company, Dayton, Ohio. That's kind of neat. But this will be coming off, and I'm going to clean up. There's rust behind it. Just cut the tacks in the four corners, and I'm going to clean up the rust that's behind it. And don't know what I'm going to do with this tag. I'm sure I'll probably just toss it in the scrap pile, but I need to clean up what's behind there. And this whole outside, when it's all done, this is going to get painted. So, this originally was for a Sanborn compressor out of Springfield, Minnesota. Alright, well, anyway. Yeah, let's get busy taking stuff off. So what I'm going to remove right now is this little pipe here with the regulator in it. There we go. I'm actually going to see if I can remove this little aluminum line here first. So hoping to see if I could save this piece. I could save some of it if I want to flare it again, but it has a bit of a kink here. So I don't know how good that'll be at flowing any kind of fluid. But I will still save this. I may be able to find a use for it. Fuel line for an antique small engine or something. Okay. Alright, let's continue on with removing this. This compressor must have been made with good components. Even parts of the regulator here say made in USA. It's back when stuff was made well. I don't really have a use for that. Alright. This top plate up here more than likely is going to get cut off and removed. Probably going to need a bigger pipe wrench for that. Originally I wasn't planning on removing this part today, but I may as well, if I can get it to go. I may have to ratchet strap the tank tight down to something and might use part of the tank to our advantage. This up here, this bracket, might use that to our mechanical advantage. Yeah, I'm gonna need a bigger pipe wrench. Yep. I'll be right back, alright? I may even have to like strap this down to something to achieve what I'm trying to do. So I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. So I have here the biggest pipe wrench that I own currently. It's not a really big pipe wrench by any means. It's only an 18-inch pipe wrench. I don't know if this is going to do it without finding something to strap this tank to. I guess I could strap it to one of these trees over here. I may actually do that. I don't know. I've not done anything like that before. Here, to open a little more. Right. Too bad I don't have someone to hold the tank while I do this. Yeah, not having a lot of luck with trying to remove that thing. Okay, I might have it now. We'll see. Nope. I wish I had a socket big enough to put on that, an impact socket big enough. I've got a impact that's pretty strong. Yeah, I think if I want to get that off, I'm going to have to literally strap this tank to one of my trees in the front yard here. I might actually do that later. Not right now. Let's get this safety valve or pressure relief valve here out. This thing ain't good yet. I'm just gonna throw it in the scrap because I don't know if it's any good. What's it rated to is what I'm trying to figure out. Set. All I can read is set, where it would say what it's rated to, what it's meant to kick off at and let pressure out at. I'll clean it up later. Well, I got this right here. A little scrap of a Scotch-Brite pad. Set to 165 psi. Okay. All right. Jeez. Oh, that one came loose easy. That's just like a compression type fitting for this aluminum tube. This air line that would go up to the compressor pump. Got that off. Now I'm going to try and get this adapter off, but it's going to take more than just that little crescent wrench. So we're going to just throw this 18-inch, jump right to the 18-inch pipe wrench. So this experience here tells me that I need to expand my pipe wrench set, which I've been meaning to. I just didn't really want to buy them all at once because money's always tight. If you watch this channel for a while, you've known that. There we go. Just got to kind of lean on it, bounce on it a bit. It's got this like pretty much fossilized by now thread sealant goop in there that's got it pretty much glued in. Switch over to my adjustable wrench. That's easier to handle. Huh. That's different looking. Must be like a one-way valve. I've never really taken the stuff out of a air compressor tank before. It's got a clip down there and it's spring loaded. The plate behind it, there's a spring in there. I don't know if you can see. I might dissect that later and see what it is. What else? Is there anything else on here that I was wanting to take out? Well, there's some hardware, some bolts and stuff that can come off of it. Maybe we can use for something else. I'll just throw them in my random bolt bucket. Then there's that bracket over there that's been annoying whenever trying to roll this thing over. Let's get these other bolts out of the way first. These would have held on, looks like the compressor pump. Alright, with those out of the way, this will be easier. Finally, throw that in the scrap steel pile. Might be good for something. Alright, I believe we have everything out of here that I really need to take out of here. So I'm going to stand this thing upright, and I'm going to put the bore scope down in it, and we're going to take a look. I don't know if I'm going to have you guys take a look while I'm operating the bore scope, or just record video on the bore scope and show you later. I might opt to do that. We'll see. Let's get her set up right. I can already hear little pieces of sediment in there, which is not good. I may even opt to put a fuel tank liner in here. But no matter what I do, this is going to get a nice big fuel filter run in the line, so that I don't wind up with sediment in my fuel going into tractors or whatever. So, alright, let me pause this video. Okay guys, I said I would show you what I could see on my bore scope. It's not going to be the greatest quality video, but we'll see what we can do. This is not a high dollar bore scope, so you can't really see much at first, but at the bottom, once we get to the bottom of the tank, you can see enough to know that it's rusty and flaky. I'm pretty sure I am going to just go ahead and seal this tank, so I'm looking into tank sealer kits, like epoxy tank sealer kits for, there we go, for like 30 gallon tanks. It's more than I want to spend, but you know what, for what I'm going to be getting in the end, I think it's totally worth it. I may still cut this tank open and clean it manually, weld it back together, and I intend to pressure test the tank and make sure there's zero leaks before I even line it, and then lining it will give me extra assurance that there is zero leaks. But yeah, you can see all the debris down there. Some of that got flushed out. And then, yep, come back out. Alrighty, well there's that. Alright everyone, I'm back. So there was one more adapter fitting that was in the top hole in the tank. I used my impact to get that out. And as you can see, I took all the holes and I filled them with expanding foam. Just inside the threaded part. I didn't get like a bunch inside the tank. So, anyways, I was very careful not to do that. The reason for that is I decided I want to fill this tank all the way with water and then flip it upside down and let it try to flush as much sediment and dirt, debris, rust flakes, whatever I can out of this tank. It'll kind of go out with the water. I'm going to fill it all the way full and flip it right upside down its top and then open the drain valve on the bottom to allow it to flow faster. So, and then I'm going to let it Then I'm going to fill the bottom of it with 4 gallons of distilled white vinegar. So the whole thing will get the rust removed from the inside. Even if I have to cut the top head off the tank and go in and clean it manually, but I want to try to do it this way first. So with distilled white vinegar. So anyways, we'll get to that later. So without further ado, let's fill this tank. All right, let's fill this tank. So I have this sprayer on here for now, but that's gonna take forever. So I'm actually just going to double kink this hose and take this off. Now, I'm just going to fill this tank. It's going to take a little while, so yeah, I'm going to pause the video and bring you guys back in a bit. Alrighty, the tank is filled to the top here, and it appears that my temporary plugs are all holding. Some of them may look wet because, you know, when it filled, some water came out the top and ran down the side, but they are holding. None of them are dripping or seeping. So now, got to figure out how to, while holding this camera, because I want to try to hurry up and get the camera down there as soon as water really starts coming out to see what we can see flushing out of there. While holding the camera in my hand, I need to flip this on its top. This could get interesting. Okay, here we go. This is a bad idea. This is a really bad idea. Let me just let me just put this. Ooh. Made a water spout. Let me just put you guys down for a minute, and then I'll grab you and show you what's coming out. Give me just a minute. Sorry. Man, I don't know. I feel like I'm going to end up hurting my back trying to lift that. I will just bring you guys back. It was a bad idea filling it all the way. Yeah, well, none of the dirt or sediment's going to come out when it's in this position anyways. So as soon as I get it stood up, I'll bring you guys back. Alright guys, I got her up on end. Let's open this valve and we'll see what comes out of it. Let's see, which way do I go? This way. Oh yeah. The great flood of northern Indiana. Well, I guess you can't really see well. Okay, over there you can see a little trail. Oh yeah. So right here, and then there's a trail. It's all a bunch of rust. That brown there, that's rust coming out of the tank. All right, let's play with this thing. Oh wait, did you see that puff of rust that came out all of a sudden? Wait for it. Wait for it. Oh, it's not going to do it again now. Oh well. There's another trail over here, and there's some bigger pieces sitting there. I am glad I decided to flush this thing out. Oh, it's going to make it rust more. Yeah, but I'm going to be removing all the rust from the whole tank anyways, so. All right. Alrighty, well, I flushed out the tank with water to get whatever sediment I could out of there, but in flipping the tank back over, I could still hear there's some larger chunks in there, probably too big to come out that hole. Larger flakes, they sounded a bit bigger. So, I did what I could with that. Gonna put some distilled white vinegar in the bottom of this tank where most of the rust should be, and let it sit a week, couple weeks, something like that. Let it do its thing. As far as any loose rust sediment, it should break that down for sure, and then it should be able to come right out. I'm going to keep all these holes plugged, all these other holes in the tank, just to keep rainwater from getting in there. And I'm going to cover the top of the tank so rainwater cannot get in there. Let's get to pouring. Got the empty box that these came in. I just bought a case of them. A case of these is 4 gallons. But yeah, anyways, I'm gonna put these empty jugs back into there. I got a burn pile going. I'll just put those right on the burn pile then. It's 1 gallon. Ooh, stinks. Smells like vinegar. We're all the way to the top of the funnel here with it. So I can't pour any faster, it'll just overflow. Money was no issue. I would just buy 30 gallons of this and fill it up all the way and let it sit for like a month. But this stuff is like $3.50, $4 a gallon. Let's just call it $4 a gallon to make it easier. 120 bucks. May as well have just taken $100 and bought a big propane tank that's close to the same size. Of course, a steel tank is better because then I'm set up to weld on this. I'm not currently set up to weld aluminum here. The propane tank the ones I was looking at were actually aluminum, I think. If I remember correctly. So, yeah. So really the compressor tank is the better option for me, because then I can weld on it all I want and get it set up how I want it. That's 3 gallons. Last gallon I have. I may buy more and put in here in a week or so. I can smell the window to our home is open right there. I can smell my wife is baking something. It smells delicious. Maybe some cookies or something. But I also smell distilled white vinegar, and that kind of takes my appetite away. Not a fan of vinegar. Like if it's a really strong vinegar smell or taste when it comes to food, yeah. If it's just very mild, then I'm okay with it. Well, it's 4 gallons distilled white vinegar. all she wrote for that. Alrighty, well, I think I'm going to call that it for this video, guys. Obviously, I got a long way to go on this project before it's done. Once the tank is complete, once it's fully built how I want it, and pressure tested, and it's pretty much ready to use, I will be cleaning up the outside, wire wheeling and a little bit of grinding here and there, yada da da da, to and sand it, whatever, to get it ready for a coat of paint. This is going to get a coat of paint. I'm not going to leave it just black and rusty. This is more than likely going to sit outside, because what I'm trying to do is free up space in my garage. So my larger twin cylinder generator that I have from home use is, I'm going to build a little shed for it outside to get it out of the garage so it's not using up floor space. So this is probably also going to sit outside, and of course it's going to be locked out so no one can just roll up and fill up a gas tank and take off with my fuel. But so I don't want it black, I don't want it a dark color. So what I'm going to do is, you know, portable fuel cans, I don't know about in other countries, but here in the US they are color coded. Red is gasoline, and that's what's going in here. This is going to be used for ethanol-free gasoline, because that's what's best for carbureted engines. Carburetors do not like ethanol. It ruins them. If you let it sit in there for a long period of time, if you use it on a regular basis, like use it frequently, not so bad. But if ethanol sits inside a carburetor for a long period of time, it tends to ruin them. So, yes, this is going to be filled with ethanol-free gasoline, because that's the only fuel I use in my 2 and 4 cycle small engines. So, this is going to get painted bright red. I'm going to use a high temperature engine enamel paint, because, not because I need it high temp, but because those are like oil and fuel resistant. So I spill a little bit on the outside, it's not a big deal. It won't really matter. So yeah, this is going to get painted red, and then in black paint I'm going to put like a template on there, and black lettering, gasoline, Rec 90, recreational 90 octane. That's what that stands for. That's what, at least in my local area, the gas stations call the ethanol-free gasoline, Rec 90. So, anyways, yeah, that's my plans for this. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, don't be afraid to give it a thumbs down, so I know for the future. If you like the kind of content that you see on this channel, please hit that subscribe button if you have not already. And drop a comment, leave me your thoughts. By the way, this tank will receive a tank vent for an outside fuel holding tank. So it will be vented so the tank can breathe as the temperature rises and drops, and as the sun shines on it and then it's in shade later, you know. This tank will receive a vent. It needs to be able to breathe. So as the pressure will want to increase and decrease inside. So anyways, yeah, hope you like this video, and I will see you in the next one. Later.